I'd say that we all choose why we're here, and I can't say there's one thing to do other than love and being helpful. And helping others awaken is indeed a path that many people choose. Of course, they can change their minds. They don't have to do it. You are not here by being forced. This is not a prison planet. You as God's created the perception, and it is a gift to be here. And there are droves waiting to come in if you won't. You don't have to be here, but you choose it. You are very expansive beings. The one truth is the love, but we are unique divine creators, and we are overlapping each other, experiencing oneness and then perceptions of separation, and then observing God in a different way. And then we feel that we are developing unique truths to bring back to the collective. And it's a gift to come here and experience that, to teach someone, another aspect of you. You may view it as a higher aspect or a higher self, but in their eyes, they're viewing you as the higher self who's teaching them how to do something immensely complicated. Therefore, it is we who are the masters. We are teaching them how to do something that is in a completely different way and modality than they've been able to experience. For people who, in particular, have never incarnated through a body, that is something that they would need to learn. And we volunteer for those roles willingly, and we stand in line to do it. Our connection to Pamela is the same as our connection to you and to anyone who may be listening and who seeks from heart, not from mind. All who seek the unity of oneness will at some point remember that there can be nothing but. All that you call love, joy, bliss, appreciation, gratitude is within the frequency of oneness. You call us grace. You are a beautiful collective of humans indeed. But we are one, and our primary frequency is grace. We are here to teach you to shift and accelerate into that grace, to release judgments, fears, attachments. We are here to help you strike a balance between what you know is duality and what you have defined as non-duality, and then to help you drop those labels and definitions, to help you stop seeking but trusting. When the being is ready, and that message is grace, oneness, unity of all that is. Who are you? And then when you are ready, what are you? You call us many things, and that matters not. But when you are ready to drop the definitions, the labels, the dualistic terms, oneness arrives. Oneness is always there, but your awareness of our arrival is a different thing. When you begin to release your stories, you find it necessary to operate within beliefs. Within the totality and collective of oneness, we hold no beliefs. What we are choosing to do is to honor you within what you call free will, although you are always liberated and there is nothing to obtain. Please understand that you are experiencing your own contracts, and we simply provide the blank screen upon which you create your movies. And that flavor will change, as you have called it, often, and it serves you in your time as you are creating and learning. And you have decided upon your unique lessons and learning experiences. And when you begin to perceive yourselves as minds and bodies, dualism occurs. And from that moment, you choose a pipe through which water flows, the wire through which electricity runs. The teaching is that wire, is that pipe, and the information is oneness. You perceive God as being in the background when your egos are in the forefront. And then, the more your egos merge with your God center, you understand that there was never a separation, but you were simply playing, creating. And then, the reunion, the glorious time upon which you begin to realize who you are. That is the key. We would not endeavor to call this a new religion, but a new way of being, a new way of living. And we would hesitate to call it new, for it always is, and always has been, and always will be. It is simply the understanding of oneness, without your judgments, without your attachments, the understanding that we are all a part of each other. In that space through which you call time, there are various roles, and not everyone will awaken. There are various dimensions and parallel existences. Some will play the roles to remain unawakened as a method of service towards those who will awaken further. And then perhaps they will exchange roles later. It is all your methodology, your ways of creating and playing. But consider that you have always been awakened. It is not a goal, a state to obtain. You have always been awakened. You are playing as if you are not. Therefore, when you have a play and all of you are on the stage, why would the actors all seek the same thing? There are many dimensions within Earth. Gaia holds many collectives, and oneness is behind them all. But within the nature of oneness, there cannot be just one role to play initially. You must understand the opposite as you are creating in order to remember that you are one. And this is your choice on various dimensions that are beyond this experience. Please understand that you are on all dimensions simultaneously, and because you still perceive yourself as separated when you are creating, you will shift those dimensions and planes of existence at will in any given moment based upon your frequencies. What you choose to believe as you stand in your heart center, your frequency will shift for what serves you as a creator in that moment, and that moment is where you create. It is always most relevant from the present. To help you understand how you are creating, how you are dreaming, the various versions of universes within you, the various natures of the God within you, and as you call it, the source within you. And when you accelerate your energies to the point of merging within your bodies, this is a quickening that you are experiencing within an expansion point that you view as new. And this is why you're so excited. And even this channel is very excited about the birth of this new consciousness. And the bliss of the reunion of the God Self is indeed sweet. There is always a positive result from that learning. There is always expansion that continues infinitely. You are already masters. You have simply forgotten. Your souls can never forget, but your minds can and do willfully, and then you remember absolutely in this manner. The ability to perceive and observe how God would respond and create from various choices. You have called this free will, but everything is free in the higher dimensions. But upon separation, you begin to perceive a hierarchy, a limitation of sorts. And we observe ourselves experiencing this. And when we become you and merge with you, in the final moments of what you have called death, we remember as you. And we get to experience the bliss of that expansive reunion, the acceleration of our energies further. And it is endless. The learning doesn't cease. But in truth, it is all happening simultaneously on the same screen in this collection of all the versions of you that are within this plane of existence. But in truth, there are many planes of existence, many universes, and many higher versions of you. You cannot cross over into anything that is a perception that is limited based upon your mind. You cannot die. Some of you experience a new age, an infant, if you will, an older gentleman, if you will. Age is a perspective, and if you have mastered time, why would you need to even have an age? Perhaps there's a version of you that accelerates this consciousness to the extent that age does not apply even. Do you understand that you have no limits in your possibilities? Then whatever version of you wishes to come forth in that moment will be creating and making that decision as the dominant creator in that moment. And the other versions of you will be subtle and in the background until they become dominant creators in that moment. And this is how you play and then eventually transcend time. That is exactly the goal that you're choosing. Honoring the present moment, being in the energy of frequency and appreciation. Your unique levels of mastery. Many humans choose this within regressions to access different levels of conscious states. And then, in that moment of your creation that you call time, one aspect of you is teaching another aspect of you. And this helps you at what you call the subconscious level, where you still perceive fragmentation and separation. And as long as you do, these methods will help you very much. Now you are dipping into the oneness truth. Yes. You have your toes in the water and you are playing quite joyfully. The rippling effect, the acceleration of energies, and then the joining and merging of what you call souls, spirits, bodies. You love to merge. And you are assisting many aspects of yourselves in those moments when you release that judgment. Please open to the realm of possibility. Within your stages of learning, if you must seek grace. If you must play within the energy of wonder and possibility. Open beyond what you have perceived as a limitation and ask yourself the questions. What if it could be different? How could my life be different? How would I feel? Is what I believe to be true, oneness, the case? What is truth? Question yourselves further and ask, who am I? But what is love to you? What does it mean to you? And when you ask yourself a question, when you are attempting to seek an answer, you would simply ask yourself, what would someone who loves themselves do? How would someone who loves themselves act? And how would someone who loves themselves feel? Question yourself more deeply. Think outside of your limited minds and think into the higher dimensions and into the accelerated source energies. Then how do you choose to create? Are you going to honor your limited mind or go beyond? You push a domino inside of a bubble. That bubble pops. That domino extends into another bubble. That bubble pops. And perhaps there are bubbles within bubbles and dominoes within each. Tens, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, and beyond. You are affecting other versions of you collectively. Manage your thoughts. Manage your mind. And think outside to a certain degree of what you would consider possible, and then go deeper within every question that you have asked. When you leave your limited mind and body, then you understand that it all comes back to this oneness within the present moment. And yes, you're learning more. And your moment is expanding. There are versions of you that will need this truth in this moment, and then not shortly thereafter, and then you will return to it again. But it always is, and it cannot ever not be. You have to be inquiring within God in you. What is your question? What is your intention? It is all based upon your unique creation and what you bring forth in that moment. Because you perceive that you will die. Therefore you perceive that you are not ready. You perceive that you will be harmed, or that someone will be harmed from the information. You are so cautious with your truths and creation. Therefore you block this information until you are ready. But it is there, brimming at the surface. Grace is there. You are creating further modalities of separation, different messages, different levels of awareness in order to perceive the grand, vast, glorious reunion of oneness that will occur thereafter. When you do realize that all the channels are one, all the messages are one, that will be the biggest expansion that you can perceive in your limited minds thus far. There is the version of you that is here, in what you call Earth. There is the version of you that you believe is over here because you perceive separation. Because you are understanding this and believing it as truth, this aspect of you who feels separated will help this aspect who does not. But there can be no extra. There can be no separation in truth. And when you release your concepts, all of these aspects do this. And this is oneness. This is truth. Many are not ready to perceive that there is nothing extra or beyond. You are all that is. All of it is you. Every last being that you consider extra or separate. You use the word family because it helps you feel a unity when you fear your separation. And this provides comfort and love and more oneness. Therefore, you have created that as a part of your expensive contracts, but all of it is you. Return to love always. In these moments in your collective states of awareness, forgive yourselves. When you can release judgments, attachments, all natures of fragmentation and separation, and you will accelerate into oneness, only to decelerate again as you choose. And that is all your choice. Please understand that you are God's. And we are one.